leadership / democracy / sparketocracy. But today, I want to help the youngsters so that they will understand the exhilaration of many kuhu that governs the day, so that they will become a good citizen to their countries. Metaphysics section 1/1, it declares, pray for your president, pray for your monarch. You will now become a good citizen. But don't insubordinate them. All you need to do is to coordinate, to pray for them. When you pray for your president and your kings, God will now use them to give you what you need. And they will now become a full blessing to the land. But if you continue to insult them, God will turn his back from you, and your prayers of insubordination will not be answered. Then God will use a stone, a substantial stone, to pray for them, and God will not answer those prayers. By the time you now pray, God will not listen to you. This, what the scripture says, it said, the king's heart is in my hand. I turn it to whatever direction I will it. That is the will of God. When the president and the monarchs discover that you are praying for them, do you know what God will do? God will reveal your prayers to them. But if you just come out in the media, what I call a state of mediamism, because of the privilege, you not just come and start insulting them. Then when things is going wrong in your country, you are the cause, not even them. Because you forgot that it is God that placed them there, though they got your vote. But if God does not want them there, with or without your vote, God will remove them. But because God have allowed them to stay, which means God demands you to pray so that he wants to use them to satisfy your necessary demand. Don't forget that they are human beings. They have children, and we are their children. Considering if your father was in the position as a president of the nation, I, Dr. Elvis the preacher, will still continue to fulfill the metaphysics section 1/1, which is a golden law and a golden principle. This is related to war peace law, which says that when the Dikoto is Grimato, the Bikotola will be restored in a state of peacematism. I, Elvis, must respect that principle. So please, when your president as your father and your monarch chastise you, he wants the best from you. When you begin to prove in prayers, because everything is settled in prayers. Everything in life is settled in prayers. But when you cannot pray, you now resort to insubordination. I'm telling you the truth. When you pray, watch. You will see the situation will start changing. But when the situation has not changed, it means you need to return to prayer. You need to continue until your prayer is answered. When I see people in the media begin to insult the leaders and whatever, I conclude in my mind that these people, they don't even pray. Some of you insult the president and you want to become a president. You want to be a president to Dr. Elvis the preacher. Can you see? You have not even shown a respect to your leader and you want to lead. But let me announce to you a good news to you this morning. Some of you are already a leader, so you don't even need that position. You are married to Mrs. B. You are the president of that house. You are President A. And your vice is Vice President Mrs. B. And you have your children and you have your friends and well-wishers. You are already a president. Then how do you preside over your small country or the country you are living as your husband and wife? Sometimes when a circumstances occur, some of you will just run. Some of you have even turned to a single mother or a single father. Or as a result of one wind that just blow, boom. Or maybe when the man made a mistake, the woman will just see that, will run away and take that as an opportunity. Yet, you want to be a president of a nation. So please, I want us to rethink what we call a political rethinking or a politinking. Don't insult your president or your monarch. When you continue, you know what God will do? He will not listen to you. He will use a stone, even leave, as a wave. They will begin to pray for the president and monarch, and God will answer their prayers. By the time you now begin to pray, God will not listen to you. This is the time now. The said time has come now. Between now and July ending, I beseech everybody, go to the screen, start to pray for your president. Have you ever seen somebody when you pray for the person every time and the person will still hate you? No, it's not possible. The president loves you. I'll give you an example. President Muhammadu Buhari is a man that has what I call 100% of ethics. When he traveled to America, he displayed the ethics. I, Elvis the preacher, am proud of him to call him my president. And that is why he has been honored in America to President Donald Trump. And also he has been honored by the Queen Elizabeth II of England, because he displayed what we call a charismatic respectual libido of ethics, which is more of what we need in life. I'll give you an example. As a Christian, what do you need? You need to operate the fruit of the Spirit. And if you are a Christian and you operate the fruit of the Spirit, you will never come out into the media and start insulting your president or whatever. Because the fruit of Spirit demands the language of faith. And the language of faith does not allow you to speak any negative language or any negative imagination. So please, let's have a rethink. It's time for Nigeria to go forward. It's time for Nigeria to go forward. Good tidings. As you do this, I tell you what, God will change everything. The change that we need is in our hand. I'll give you an example. Most Christian leaders, most Islamic leaders, they got university on their own, private universities. But ask yourself a question. You want admission to university. Can they give you a scholarship? If, for example, all the Muslims, all the Christians go to private university with a very cheap amount or with a scholarship, you will discover that you are helping the government. And the government will be proud of you people. But look at all the private university. If you don't have enough endurado, enough capital, you can't go to a private university. The government is always the solution. And yet, we keep on insulting the government. Please, to become a president, to become a king,